this loop playing. And there we go. Alright, no intro tonight, folks. It's going to be all business. Just a solar report. No gym tonight. I got a lot to do, so I take it my old stream went down and whoever was waiting just got lost, and now this new stream is up, so oh well. So frustrating. Okay. Where's my pointer? Here we go. Alright, so yeah, no intro tonight. We're just going right to the solar report here. I don't have a lot of time. There's just a slight break for me, so I have to squeeze this in while I can. I'm here. Oh, thank you. All right, good. Hopefully some people are finding their way here. I tried to start the last stream and it just canceled the whole thing, so I had to redo it on the last moment. So anyways, let's get started here. We're picking up where we left off last night, okay? This is May 12th, 2023 right here, okay? And we'll, you can see we've had that event with the multiple objects right here, this event, and then now we've had this secondary lower wave down here. So we will pause it on the opening frame, go through this, and then take a peek at tomorrow's already. And welcoming people coming in. Sorry about the switch in the stream there. I don't know what happened. I went to go live and it just canceled it, so I had to retitle it and re-thumbnail it and just swing away. Here we are, opening frame 024, and we're just going to start plowing through this. Boom, boom, boom. Here's an object right here that we reported on last night. Nice and clearly defined. The instrument paints it. You know, it's pretty easy to see that one. We had a little flare over here on this side. Object's really faint right there. I'm not going to really report on that one too much. Now, where we left off is now this new CME picking up here, okay? And as that moves out, you can make out a dark object here and another one there. Let's just do a little bit of tint, a little bit there, so you can see this event just a tad bit darker there. Alright, so you can see multiple. 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. Hi everybody, welcome. Sorry about the switch there. It threw me for a loop as well, so thanks for making it here, and I appreciate your dedication. And I don't have much time, so we're just going to plow right through this. Now, finally, this event here, the spire is starting to unfold here, okay? And you see the white streaks, that indicates a nice object right there, okay? Then as this thing emerges, we have this secondary wave down below that comes out at the same time, right? So this object finally emerges. There's another one here. Looks like one there. All right. And then we have another one here. Something there. Looks like another one trailing it. I mean, pretty soon you can, once you get the eye, you can see these things a lot clearer. Alright, so that was our loop right there. Let's put it back into, whoops, reverse again. Dang, reverse. Alright, there we go. There's your loop. Finally, this event started to unfold. Even after it finishes and moves away, the spire is still there, so there's still something else back there that it's reaching towards, okay? So it's not over. It spit out something right there, but not everything, okay? All right, now what I want to do is go take a peek at the 13th. Oh, sorry, no images available. Oh, yeah? Well, let's just go down here and sneak a peek under the dress. All right. Now, there's only 11 frames here, but they're pretty important frames. So let's just start going through these one by one. Let me scoot this down and get it nice and centered for you. Okay, now you can see, whoops, you can see our event, still some kind of object in there, right? Now, we have another blast already on the 13th, all right, you guys? And it's a pretty good sized one. And what is it? Right around here, this closing frame, you can make out the two objects. I mean, they're pretty easy to see. There's a perfectly circular object right there, and another one right below it, right there. Okay, and I'll even do the tint a little bit so you can see that lower one a little clearer. Okay, so there's that. And yeah, now you can see our objects. Okay, and that's a little sneak peek at what is now already tomorrow, Saturday, May 13th. A very busy day for me tomorrow. And I'll explain why here in a few minutes. We can play it if it'll let me play. No. So we'll just take it from. We have another big blast already started on May 13th, opening up with this double object, probably something else along with it. Okay, you can see this big stretch right here. There's something bigger back behind it right here. These are probably moons to a much bigger something back there, I swear. I mean, you can look at the flow and the way it's stretched and arching. It looks like we have a much bigger one right back behind here. Anyways, I'm not going to say for sure. That one's really hard to detect, but that flow right here and up here, tell me that there's something bigger back there. These are just moons. These are just a couple of moons orbiting something bigger back there. Okay? And that's on the 13th. And now let's come over to the space weather here, or over to the solar ham device instrument. And here's today right here. And you can see our pops and stuff that we had. Then we started off today, now the new today, the 13th, right here, with there's our long kind of duration solar flare. And it's already, after this intense flare, it's already dropping back down to the seafloor. Let me zoom in a tad bit more for you guys, so you get to see it better. There we go. Even more. There we go. So you can see we went up right up to M class right there, and then it slowly descended right back down to the seafloor again. So the sun's weak, but it's still going, even though these objects are, interacting and causing these flares and these CMEs. After that event, the sun, if there's no activity, it drops down to this C range pretty quick. Okay, so just wanted to show you our events on the graph there. That's the heartbeat of the sun. Okay, and it's not doing all that well. Our absorption here doesn't look too bad. I was having internet disruptions all day today, and I knew that the big object passed on the 12th yesterday. And actually it looked like it was a little more delayed, and it passed today because of the storm activity that we had today, all the tornado outbreak that we had, a couple dozen tornadoes I believe we had today, and they're expecting even more intense tomorrow. Okay, and we'll get into that when we get to the weather, but I think we were still absorbing stuff today. This is probably, this is nighttime now, so I probably missed today's event or whatever, but I got so much I cannot tell you. Anyways, our KP index over here had a little spike in it, nothing too major, 5.5. Okay, nothing too bad. Look how weak the aurora is right now. Let's just take a little peek and see if the southern one, look how weak they both are. That's odd. Well, maybe we're not just taking in a bunch of energy or something right now, which is good. I would love to see it light like this all the time, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. Let's open up the tracker, take a look at the... There we go. And let's see if they got any any info on our latest CME, what direction it's going? It doesn't look like there's anything loaded up. Nope. All right, well, doesn't matter because we know those objects are earthbound. The CMEs sometimes have a tendency to go off at a glancing blow, which would be nice in this occasion too. So let's come over here to the Schumann here, and here's the screeching event. Here was another one right here, okay? You could see it build up right here. It started to really rub and then really hard on the brakes and then released. So we had some of these screeching events. Here's the event ends, right? And the core and the shell breathe and take a break from screeching and start to rotate again. It comes out of this screeching event kind of weak, right here in this little segment, but then it gets to bright green again and right back to screeching again. So we're having these, we're really close to the core and the shell are really close at the boundary, and all it takes is a small little impulse from the sun. It gets directed to the poles, goes right to the core swells, and they grind. Okay, but right now, nothing too major. We're still spinning in reverse, but that's okay. It's still producing an electromagnetic field that's protecting us. And it does have these weak points. Right here's a weak point. After it came out of this event, it gets a little weak, but then it recovers. Here's another little weak point here, and another one right in there. But every time it pulls out and recovers, which is good because we do not want a core lock or core shell lockup event where they don't rotate, the core doesn't rotate inside the shell. That will stop the electromagnetic field that protects the planet, and we will be toast in a heartbeat. So it's very important that this dynamo inside the Earth continue to spin even though it's going forward and reverse. Now, we have this huge polar vortex at the southern hemisphere, okay? It is just so huge and dominant and strong. Look how far it's creeping up South America here, okay? It's pushing upwards, which is taking this equatorial zone and shoving it northwards, taking our blue boundary line, shoving it northwards, and the deeper into summer we get, the further north this is going to push. It's actually going to stay there, and the planet's going to rotate down into it. Okay, how's that? If you can understand astrophysics. So we'll slowly creep into that zone will creep up here because the planet is tilting more towards the sun. Then we'll come out of it in the fall, right? Anyways, we have this huge dominant one, and then up here on the northern half we have nothing. No polar vortex at all. I mean, this is like our only rotation, our only vortex, and it's very weak. See, everything's all scattered and really diffuse. So we're going to come over and look at this one vortex that we have. Now last time, we still have two of them. And it's like the two eyes again, one rotating the opposite direction of the other. So there's the center of rotation and the center of rotation here. And let me just back out a little bit better and pull it down. And we still have the smiley face with the rotating eyes. Bing, bing. See the big smile right here? How crazy is that? So that's your northern polar vortex. I don't know what to say. I just got to keep going because something important coming up tomorrow. In fact, I think now that a few are here, I will give you the good news. Tomorrow, May 13th, is my youngest son's birthday. And in our family culture, he's at the age where it's a rite of passage, where he becomes man. And he will be joining me in battle, spiritual warfare on the mountain. So pray for my son and your new Jedi Padawan, I guess we would say. Spiritual warrior. Another person on the team. from my bloodline, okay? I got two sons. I got one that's already been through it last year, and now my youngest goes through it this year. And now you will have three Jedis out there. Okay? Here is our. Thank you very much. I'm a very proud papa, and I know he will do fine. He's already been in battle plenty of times and enjoys it, so that's key, especially when doing warfare. I mean, you got to be able to stomach it and enjoy it. So I'm just proud that he's growing up and gonna tackle it, and we're gonna have fun together doing it. And we do it for you guys. Okay. So here's our our I don't even know what to call this. Looks like a bowl of spaghetti all stirring around with a blender in the middle of it or something. I don't know. But this is our jet stream, our upper jet. Okay, let's just come on over to America where it really counts for our weather at least. Now, let's zoom in. You can see America, and you can see this huge big trough out here, dipping down and coming up, and then boom, dropping down over Washington. See how it comes down and then drives up into the northwest up here. Okay, takes a hard U-turn. See this thin little line right here? This like a wall. Nothing goes underneath it. Barely anything up at the top goes underneath it. Everything gets shoved all the way south and then comes back up. And look where it's coming back up into Texas. Watch out. Tomorrow's tornado event in Texas is going to be scary. If you saw what happened today, there was quite a good size one that was rain wrapped, and basically the storm chasers had to tell people as they were driving through the towns, get off the street and get out, because they were all looking, where is it? Where is it? Well, you can't see it when it's rain wrapped, and this thing was like a mile and a half wide, and thankfully, some of you guys are paying attention and praying. And let's just say Lyons, the town of Lyons, this huge tornado came right up to it, ready to eat a couple of lions. And it magically just turned left and disappeared. So a town got spared today. Lyons got spared today. And you guys are awesome prayer warriors out there. Anyways, we got to continue on. So we have this needle-like trough driving way far south like this wall. I lack of a better term. And not much is squeezing under it. What does is clear up in Canada, okay? So it takes everything and drives it all the way down below Arizona and then pops it all back up into Texas. So that is not good because we're going to skip the SO2 tonight. I don't have time. I have to get prepared for tomorrow and get Junior's battle gear all ready. Okay, so here we are, current status or current status here on the GFS model, and you can see already popping up down here in Texas, and this is 2 a.m. May 13th. Now we're 7 a.m. May 13th. Look at Texas already here. We have this huge comma-shaped thing. A lot of the storm chasers weren't even sure where to start chasing because stuff was wrapping around and going over the top. They weren't sure if they should chase over here, up top, or down on this side. And finally, it started to gel, and they found, the biggest storm, and they all converged on huge tornado that was outside of Lyons. And tomorrow's event has a potential of being very, very dangerous. While we're at that, let's go back. Tomorrow is the 13th. We have the 10th, which would be the weather that came, whoops, the space weather that came off the sun on the 10th. And I believe the 10th was a quiet day. Well, no, it started off with that blast. And that blast. And this one. And that one. And that one. So pretty quiet day. Not. So all this inbound energy that left the sun on the 10th is due to arrive on the 13th, right? See the 10th down here? Oh, I should write down here is the 10th. Okay. So this inbound energy due to strike Earth tomorrow will intensify tomorrow's weather some more. So as we come back over to the GFS model, this is 7 a.m. already popping up down in Texas. This will be 2 p.m. and we have very, very strong weather in southern Texas, okay? Now the next frame here is the end of convection, okay, on May 13th. We have this huge comma shape right down here, all right? It already is spinning stuff and causing on the front side. Now look at its short little tail and how dangerous it is. Now, this is at the end of convection. Now, as we go into the evening hours, it's still there, just kind of scoots south, but we still have this small little low right here that's going to pull moisture up, and there could be possible, stuff around Dallas, Fort Worth in the morning. Okay, at least rain, possible hail. All these storms are producing some incredible hail. So this is 7 a.m. May 15th, 2 p.m. right there, 7 p.m. end of convection May 15th. Let me get these times in there a little bit better for you. I wasn't paying attention. I'm in a hurry tonight. I got big day. Big day. So, I'm lost track here, but this is 2 a.m., 7 a.m. We're looking good. There's the end of convection, May 16th, okay? Then we just kind of plow through there. Here's the end of convection, May 17th. Little spottiness out here in the Midwest or whatever, so there might be scattered thunderstorms out there on May 17th by 7 p.m. So we march through that day and get to the end of convection here on May 18th. Now you see this huge low that's formed and has dropped this big tail down in here. At the end of convection, there could be a lot more intensity to this, okay? Now we're getting further out, so this isn't as accurate, especially with how volatile the weather is. What I mean by volatile is it can go from sunny to rainy pretty quickly, or sunny to snowy even. So here's this big kind of curl Q low that has this big long tail effect attached to another low back here. This is early morning, May 19th. 2 p.m. There's the end of convection, May 19th. Now you see this low, and it has this big long arm that's reaching back. All these pop-ups that are back in here. This is going to be, has the potential to be kind of dangerous on May 19th at the end of convection, 7 p.m. Then in the overnight hours, you see this low has this big long tail. It reaches all the way down in here. It's connecting to this thing now. Even little pop-ups back over in here. So this will be overnight into May 19th, okay? That'll be 7 a.m., 8 a.m. for the East Coast, May 20th. That's 2 p.m., May 20th. And there is the end of convection, May 20th, hitting New York, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Virginia, North Carolina, stuff down into South Carolina, up into New Hampshire. So this right here looks like it might be very dangerous situation, possibly for New York and that area, at least for flooding and hail and high winds. Even if they don't get tornado. Ooh, whoops. That's the end of convection at 7 p.m. And as we go into the evening hours, look at that. That's 2, 3 a.m. out there, 2 a.m. out there. And that's 7 a.m. They're going to wake up to almost like a nor'easter almost. And then that's the end of convection right there, May 21st. Most of it pulls offshore. The center of the low is still way up off of Maine now, up into Nova Scotia or something up there. Then it disappears, okay, and that monster's gone and then we have some clearing for a while, okay. The next little impulse is not really around. But I think all this will change this far out because we have more objects inbound, right, that we just saw. So by here, I'm sure all this will change. All right, so that was that. We did earthquakes. No, we need to do the earthquakes now. All right, let's get to this. Let's just cram this in real quick. There aren't any deep quakes, but before I start opening these, we had that deep 4.4 here yesterday, right? And it was semi-deep. It translates to, mid 4 to 5 range at the surface, right? And not much of it had entered the system. Well, here we go. So we had that deep quake yesterday, and I told you watch for stuff coming down this way. Energy that's mid 4 to 5. There's a 4.8, depth of 10. There's a 5.2, depth of 30. There's your 4.6, depth of 232. That one's a little bit deeper, but at the surface, what does 4.6 translate to at this depth? About a 5, right? So there's our energy traveling south. It probably have another one here or, onshore at this little apex here. Now, the other side of the system, shall we? A 4.6. This one's at a depth of 258. Okay, it's a little deeper too. So what does that translate to at the surface? A 5 again, huh? Wow, look at this. Isn't this amazing how this is just all like panning out? Look at this naked spot right here. Don't you think we should have a quake right about there, mid 4 to a 5, or possibly here at this fulcrum point? You guys are good at this. I think you guys are going to get an A on this test. Here's where these two faults kind of come together, but they're separate. Or right here, let me see if we can see this, these two, all right, it filled in. But right here and right here, that's a potential spot, right? Okay. So, as we back out a little bit, come on, let's get this out of the way. So we got a nice good shot of our system here. All right, so this part of the system, kind of naked, right? But look where we got energy here. Oh, 4.9, depth of 72. What's going on over here? A 5.1. Why, looky there. All of our energy has skipped this area and is now creeping up through. Come on now. Creeping up through here. I bet you this will be 4.5, depth of 28. What do you think this one's going to be? 5.3, depth of 14. So that's like our biggest quake out of all of them, right? Well, maybe this one too. So there's 5.1 is basically 5, okay? It's right around there. Here's 5.3, okay? 4.3, 4.8. So there's all that mid 4 to 5 energy traveling up through the system. Now, look where it's bare. Gee, where do you think it might hit here? Possibly here again. Pinch off that energy from, 5, mid 4 to 5 down to 3. And it can travel across here, make the corner, and come down. Well, it doesn't look like it has much. This is 3.5. And this is another 3 something, 3.7. So we do have the mid 3s in here. There's a 4.3. Okay. So, but this looks like it's the old energy that, still kind of like the garden hose is still kind of trickling out and draining out of this cinched off part, right? So we still have pent up energy. Let's just call it mid 4 to 5 at the surface, right? Coming up through the chain. So all these little apex areas or fulcrum points, even mid range, even middle points, or volcanoes along the way. Okay. Then let's see if it. Come here, you. Look at this. It hasn't made any. Well, what's this? It maybe dumped off a little 4.5 down here or something instead. But as far as this system of faults and stuff, there's nothing along this part, right? Nothing at the fulcrum spots. See, it's all quiet. It's all ready, waiting for this new little 4.5 to 5 range energy to start traveling in and start dumping off quakes in our apex or our weak spots. We see them, a lot of them right around this area right here. So, of course, that's where expect to see them again. Okay, not too tough. Thank goodness for Dutch sense. He makes a lot of sense. And when you understand geology and how everything works, he is so close. If he just understood what was happening with the core and the expansion, he'd be a lot more accurate. Okay, here's our 4.6 at a depth of 51 on this side. And we have 4.6 at a depth of 24 on this side. Okay, there's your mid-range 4 being dumped off here and there. It bypassed this. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought I saw one. Oh, maybe it was Hawaii. Oh, look at Hawaii. Got a 3.5. Now we're the dreaded report spot. Let's cover this one real quick. 4.4 down by Mexico. Nothing too serious. Now we're going into our quake swarm. Okay. Now, there have been a lot of people on YouTube reporting about this. It's made the headline news and everything. And I'm going to give you the dirt on the lake. Get it? I want this one. So, I want 7 days all magnitude. It's right there. Okay. Because now, see, everybody's just showing you 1 day or 2 days. I'm going to show you 7 days, all magnitudes, okay? If I can get this to pop off there now. So, don't worry about all this little stuff over here. We're going to focus on our quake swarm right here, all right? And we'll have to get centered and located. Okay, pull it down. Maybe zoom out one more time so we get the whole swarm in one frame. That's it right there. The very bottom quake is down here, okay? So we have quite a few quakes in here, all right? We're looking at least 20 to 30 quakes here. Their average is, come on now, give me just one of them. 2.4, we got 2.8, 2.1. They're all 2s to 3s, right? There was the 5.7. Nope, not that one. This is the new 5.2 that hit today. Back in here is 5.5 now, whatever. The 5.5 to 5.7, the big one that everybody kind of felt in this region yesterday, caused some more little quakes around it. Now, today, we had a 5.2 in this same region, under the lake here, under the water. Okay? There is... How do we put this, Lord? Where is this lava dome over here? Right here, I believe it is. Yeah. So there is a huge lava dome right here, and this lake, if you look at these fracture lines like this. It seemed to have had runoff from this ran down, filled these lakes. There's a weak spot underneath these lakes. Water from this lake trickles back down into the chamber underneath this or something. And that chamber down below this feature is rumbling. This water is trickling down, getting in there. Probably steam is being created underneath there, and that pressure from the steam is pushing up, causing a little quake swarm here at this lake. Because there's not really any kind of volcanic feature here on the lake or under the water. So, what's happening is our nearest volcanic feature is this right here. And by the looks of it, it's lava dome. It's huge, probably the biggest lava dome in the world right there. And it was created by pressure and magma underneath it, right? Well, it's right downstream from here. This is not the closest water, but you see, these aren't very big lakes, but the water supply from these two big lakes is a lot. There's a lot of weak shoreline in here, and notice it's kind of around this peninsula where all the weak slough area is, right? And come here, if we can get, see along the beach right here, these ones are striking. This is all, there's like a little shelf. Oh man, my color is all bad. Sorry. Anyways, these ones that are offshore here a little bit, there's a shelf that descends, not a shelf, but a slope that descends from the water line down and out underwater. And these are hitting on the slope at the base in that weak zone. So this is all weak zone under this lake. The water from here is perforated down, has gone down through perforations in the crust and hit the magma down below. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of steam event happen here where this lake heats up and changes temperature, or we see steam shoot out of the ground around here in these weak zones. They could possibly have one of these earthquakes could set off a sand spout where land or let's just say land falls into a crevice underneath that fills up but shoves other pressurized dirt from below up into the air. So you could see that possibly along here, or steam. I believe that this is magma intrusion down below, or not intrusion. This is more like water intrusion on the magma below, building pressure. The steam, underneath there is building pressure and causing little not harmonic tremors, because these are a little bit bigger, but causing this little quake swarm. And they're releasing their energy at the weakest part in the surface. These little slough areas along the peninsula and along the shoreline and stuff. And so I can see what's going on there. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. The physics of it all makes sense. Dutch has done a lot of good research and gotten us a long way. And I just kind of want to take it a step further for you, because I understand what's happening down below, and I don't think he believes that. And until you believe it, or at least understand it and comprehend it, the forecasting and stuff might be off a little bit, because it was all before this was before the Corn, the Shell, started doing this event stuff. His accuracy was pretty good. And that was because the Earth was behaving normally. Well, it's not behaving normally anymore. We're in abnormalville now. And if you understand that it's all stretching and from the inside out, like overcooking an egg, eventually you crack the shell from the inside out. And that's what's happening to the crust of the planet, where along the plate boundary lines. Those are our cracks that are already there, right? From the last time. So that's where you're going to see your releases and your earthquakes. And we're going to have new cracks too. New fissures, new fault lines will open up. Just because you think you live in a safe area, there's no fault around you, no crack in the ground. They're opening up all over the world. There's no place that's safe. I guess maybe the safer places are where you're on a thicker tectonic plate with less perforations around you or something, you know. But there's not many of those areas on the planet either. Every place has some kind of fault line and volcano, and if you escape that, you're in the wild weather zone. So, is one or the other. I think we might just wrap it up with that because I gotta get ready for battle tomorrow and get Junior ready and squeeze in a couple minutes of sleep. All right. And then tomorrow's report, hopefully, I will have a good report as far as what happens tomorrow, and maybe even a little video for you guys of tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I am exhausted. I have much to do. Squeeze in a minute or two sleep. So, love you all. God bless you all. I'll see you soon. Pray for me and Junior tomorrow. Wish him happy birthday, and we're going to battle for you guys, all right? So, just know that you got somebody on your side, okay? And I love you. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Till then, I'll be back.